Who can you think of that might allegedly have a hidden palace worth $1.37 billion paid for with the largest bribe in history? Vladimir Putin, of course. Stick around to find out what he's up to now. A massive residence on the Black Sea in Russia that is shrouded in secrecy is claimed to belong to President Vladimir Putin. The outrageous estate is alleged to be worth $1.37 billion and is said to sit on 183 acres with an adjacent 70 square kilometre plot of land, which is larger than the entire island of Manhattan. Read it and weep, Trump. The absolutely astonishing scale and luxury of the property was revealed in 2021 when Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny's Anti-Corruption Foundation uploaded an investigative documentary on it. The video currently has more than 124 million views on YouTube. Putin has denied that the palace belongs to him, with the Kremlin saying that it is a private venture owned by various businessmen. However, that has not stopped speculation in the wider world and the finger strongly being pointed in his direction. However, within Russia, where 1 in 4 Russians have apparently seen the video, a third of them take the Kremlin at face value and believe Putin has absolutely nothing to do with it. Navalny, who's currently being held in a Moscow jail, alleges that Putin secretly had the Black Sea residence built using illicit funds from his billionaire friends. Putin's palace, as it's been dubbed, is the largest private residential building in Russia, with more than 190,000 square feet of living space, which is more than twice the size of Buckingham Palace. The extent of Putin's wealth remains a mystery. The Russian president is conspicuously absent from Bloomberg's and Forbes' rankings of the world's billionaires. At a 2017 Senate Judiciary hearing, outspoken Putin critic and financier Bill Broder estimated the president has accumulated $200 billion of ill-gotten gains and described him as one of the richest men in the world. On a thickly wooded mountainside overlooking Russia's Black Sea coast, this extraordinary building has gradually taken shape. As stated, it is allegedly a palace built for the personal use of Vladimir Putin, with massive and illegal use of state funds. Originally conceived, it is said, as a modest holiday house with a swimming pool, it now boasts a magnificent columned facade reminiscent of the country palaces Russian Tsars built in the 18th century. The massive wrought iron gates into the courtyard are topped with a golden imperial eagle. Outside are formal gardens, a private theatre, a landing pad with bays for 3 helicopters, and accommodation for security guards. All this and more is revealed by satellite images of the area and photographs on the internet, which campaigners say were leaked by workers on the site. The mystery of why the palace was built and who provided the enormous sums of money required to pay for it is much harder to uncover. This is like a state within a state, where one irremovable czar rules, Navalny says in the video. It is built in a way that no one can reach it by land, sea or air. Thousands of people working there are banned from bringing even a simple cell phone with a camera. This billion-dollar palace was built to be invisible. The almost 2-hour YouTube investigation reveals the property has an underground hockey rink with helicopter pads on top of it, a lap dancing bar, a Las Vegas-style casino with a bank of slot machines, an aqua discotheque with a swim-up bar. It also has a special room to play with toy cars, and an indoor go-kart track. The master bedroom is said to be nearly 2,800 square feet, with more than a dozen guest bedrooms near the suite. Outside, it is claimed there is a gigantic church, an amphitheatre, a sculpture garden, and an industrial-sized greenhouse, said to be tended full-time by 40 gardeners. What's he growing in there? Who knows? But we do know that the gardeners apparently cost him $2 million per year. In his video report, Navalny says that near the main structure there is a 260-foot bridge that leads to a 27,000 square foot guest house, which features 11 guest bedrooms and several living areas. One of the most bizarre reported features of the main residence is that it is said to have huge separate kitchens, one for meat, one for fish, one for vegetables, and one for baked goods, which must be an absolute nightmare if someone orders the surf and turf. Part of the Navalny leak was the alleged floor plans of the construction, which reveal a lot of other interesting details. A number of the buildings appear to have been built and rebuilt multiple times, indicating an owner with exacting tastes and deep pockets. We wonder who that could be. The sprawling estate also has its own offices and dormitories covering the entire estate. During the ice rinks construction, which started in 2018, there was speculation that this could be a hardened underground bunker for Putin in the event of a major crisis or nuclear strike. The interior renderings of one of the bedrooms, an attached bathroom, as well as living and reading rooms, reflect an aesthetic matching the regal exterior of the building, and known to be favoured by one Vladimir Putin. Many of the renderings are based in part on what the floor plans specifically name the rooms. Some were relatively unclear. One room was marked hookah, suggesting it included a room where people could smoke from a water pipe perhaps. Or at least, we had hoped that was the reason. But the room has no windows, a stage, a dressing room, spotlights, and something very similar to a pole is noted on the plan, says the FBK investigation. We thought for a long time it could be perhaps a giant shawarma is prepared here, or firefighters are training, the FBK quips. Yes, perhaps that's it. The palace enjoys sprawling Versailles-like grounds, exotic trees, and huge sculptures of ex-Russian leaders. The entire facility is surrounded by high-security walls, fencing, and barriers with fortified checkpoints at its entrances. Roads provide access throughout the property. Some features remain unexplained from the floor plans, including a massive ramp-like setup that seems to be a form of vehicle access into an unknown underground facility. It connects to a growing pier area on the southern border of the estate. Navalny's organization claims that the Black Sea Palace is only one of the multiple properties linked to Putin, including 4 other sites near Gelendzhik, specifically another chateau, wineries, and an oyster farm. Putin's future following the invasion of Ukraine and speculation about his health is not yet clear. One thing that is clear though is that the creator of the video presentation that outlined the palace and its features and alleged owner received serious prison time. In December 2020, Putin signed a bill into law granting lifetime legal immunity to former Russian presidents, possibly indicating that he does not expect to remain in power forever. The only other living former Russian president, Dmitry Medvedev, does not seem to be at any risk of imminent prosecution. The builders at Putin's palace have also confirmed rumours that the opulent home is riddled with mould and in a constant state of disrepair. Walls and ceilings were covered in mould, just ordinary mould, green. It affected the whole building. Builders claim the mould, feared to be caused by the mansion's proximity to the sea and limited ventilation, meant the property had to be completely disinfected twice, which must be a ginormous job. A mining engineer who worked on the complex overlooking the Black Sea suggested it had indeed been built for the president and that there is a whole anthill in the rock underneath the house. The engineer, named only as Victor, thought of the palace as a national treasure with great pride, suggesting the 16 underground floors buried in the rock were more ingenious than Dr. No's bunker. It's not quite like the hideout of the villain from the James Bond films, he said. The movie is, after all, based on the usual and necessary parameters of any underground structure. Navalny is thought to have been in possession of the leaked floor plans of Putin's lavish property on Russia's southern Black Sea coast, courtesy of one of the workmen who had been on site. The apparent architect of Putin's palace is Italian Lanfranco Cirillo. The 56-year-old Italian allegedly received a Russian passport thanks to Putin. He has moved inside the rarefied world of the gilded class, seen as part of Putin's inner circle, a secretive milieu known for patron-client networks and a deep-rooted suspicion of all foreigners. And he's been pinpointed as the designer of this ginormous palatial mansion, purportedly built for the Russian president, a job that's earned him the moniker Putin's architect. Cirillo says that there's nothing untoward about his remarkable rise in Russia. There is nothing strange here, he tells the media. I just came here to earn money and make a good company. What? Is that bad? Precisely how this foreigner's improbable odyssey led to a deal to design what may be Russia's most controversial piece of real estate, while working with men closely associated with Putin, remains unclear to many. Imagine spending billions building a secret palace for 20 years with black money, and then Navalny comes along and bursts your bubble from within a prison cell, and now you can never even visit the place. Gutted, Putin.